Good morning from Orange Beach on Tuesday, May 30th, 2023. I want to talk today about United's increase to its Denver operation that came out last week to make a point about something we've been saying for some time about how the U.S. industry, aviation industry, is on the verge of realigning itself away from an east-west international orientation over the Atlantic and Pacific and into a north-south orientation within the Americas from an international standpoint. And we think last week's important in this regard because what most people focused on when they were talking about this move was they were focusing on Denver and the competition with Southwest in particular, and to a lesser extent Frontier. And as a former Southwest employee who had a lot to do with the Denver buildup in the 2010 timeframe, we know that that market's important, but really what's happening, we think here, as we've talked about before, is that United is realizing that places like San Francisco, Dulles, and Newark won't do as well in the decade ahead as demand from China and Europe starts to decrease because of long-term demographic and geopolitical trends that indicate that they won't be able to have enough people to either consume or produce enough to remain as important to international trade as they were pre-COVID. Meanwhile, the U.S. and most of the Americas have relatively healthy demographic profiles. So the money's going to be in U.S. domestic and in intra-Americas international travel. And places like Denver, Houston's George Bush on the United network are much better positioned to take advantage of this than places like San Francisco, Newark, and Dulles, which are more east-west oriented over oceans. So we think that this move by United last week, while important for the local Denver competition, really is at least as much, if not more, about positioning United's network for the future, where the alignment will be much more north-south intra-Americas than it was east-west over the Atlantic and Pacific for a substantial amount of time to come.